Tai Lopez is being sued by the Security and Exchange Commission for allegedly running a $112 million Ponzi scheme. That's what they saying. I'm going to talk about this, but to be clear, I am super biased. I've known Tai for over 10 years. We've been friends. I actually learned a lot from Tai. I'm going to talk about it, but if you're looking for a video where somebody just on side, there's tons of videos that do that. I'm just gonna talk about what happened and give you my perspective as somebody who's known him for like 10 years. Here's an article from CBS News. Buyer of RadioShack, Pier 1 importers, and other brands accused of running a $112 million Ponzi scheme. And that's strong verbiage. And I read through the actual complaint from the Security Exchange Commission. Like, I read through it. You can find it online. And I kind of just want to go over what he's been accused of and just my take on it, you know? So listen, here's the thing. So the people who are named in the lawsuit are, one, obviously Tai Lopez, another dude, and one of his business partners, Alex Muir. Might be saying his name wrong. I don't care. I don't know Alex. And Maya Rose. I don't know how to say Maya's last name, but I'm gonna call her Rose because I think her name was Maya Rose before she got married. So I'm just gonna keep calling her that because that's what I remember. And I know Maya really well. Like, that's the homie. And so what they were doing, here's the thing. Check this out. I remember it might have been 10 years ago or so. You know, I had first met Tai and we became super cool. I kick it with him. When I'm in LA, I holler at him. We have videos on my YouTube from like 10 years ago. And he would throw these events. And he would ask me to speak. He'd be like, yo, you want to speak at this event? All right, cool, man. I come through in LA. Sometimes if he had him in New York, I was living in New York at the time. And I was like, yeah, I'll just pull up. And obviously, when I speak, I kind of feel sorry for the people who have to speak after me because it's like, damn, man, I didn't mean to be this good. There's no way you can follow up with that. But I would speak all the time. And at the end of all these events, he would say, listen, if you're an accredited investor, then I'd like to talk to you privately. And he would do this for years. So when I was at these events, it was years. He was just gathering accredited investors. Now, what's an accredited investor? That means you're earning over $200,000 a year or having a net worth of over $1 million, right? And when you're an accredited investor, you can invest in certain things. The SEC allows you to make investments that aren't available to the general public. If I'm not mistaken, a lot of that happened in 2008 after when they did Wall Street reform in order to try to protect investors. He would gather up all these accredited investors and take them in the back. And I didn't know what he was talking about because I was taking pictures with fans and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, and I never went back there because it's just like, whatever. I was an accredited investor, but I was just like, nah, I was focused on what I was doing, right? I didn't know what he was doing with these accredited investors. I would just see him going to the back and then I would go do some other shit, you know, like take pictures with fans, holler at the hoes, all that other shit, right? What happened was he was starting a private equity fund, man, and it was called Retail E-Commerce Ventures, or REV. And I remember when he made his first purchase, man, he bought this shit called Dress Barn. And Ty texted me, he's like, yo, I just bought Dress Barn. I was like, yo, that's what's up, man. What's Dress Barn? I didn't know what it was, man. I don't know which one of y'all is out here fucking bitches who shop at Dress Barn, but it's the thing. Then he told me, he was like, yo, man, I just bought linens and things. All right, again, this is the homie, right? So like, text me. I remember he bought RadioShack, Pier 1 imports. I'm like, yo, this motherfucker doing his thing, man. He's a genius. You know, the online influencer / guru space, like that's one thing. But I was like, oh shit, he's ascended to like another level of entrepreneur, like the highest level, like private equity. That's like a high level of entrepreneur. I remember it was during the pandemic. I'm talking to him like via text, and he's like, yo, man, just bought Modell's. It tells you I don't know Modell's. Modell's was a sporting goods store. I think it was only in New York. It might have been somewhere. So I never seen a Modell's in another part of the country. But they used to have the song, gotta go to Modell's. And I guess they went out of business and sold to Tai. And I was like, oh shit, I fucks with Modell's, man. I done bought some Jordans out of there before. And he was like, yo, you want to get in on this deal, man? And I was like, man, I want to, but I'm getting divorced right now. And the lawyer said, don't buy that shit because they gonna take it. So I was like, yo, I gotta wait till all this shit is over. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to get into Modell shit. I did. Because he was like, yo, man, we can do some shit like make you the face of Modell's. And I was excited to do it. I was gonna put up like a mill for Modell. I just couldn't because of divorce. Now that ended up being good, you know. This might be the first time in history a nigga's ex-wife saved him some money. There's someone I talk to all the time. Every time I see him, what's up? We got a bunch of mutual friends. That's the homie. I'm gonna show you what he's accused of, right? But again, these are just accusations, right? But we're gonna go over. I read the whole complaint. I'm gonna go over this shit line by line, but what he's accused of. So one of the first thing, according to the SEC, They were promising return on investment of 25% a year or something like that, right? They're saying that they were using the new investors' money to pay the dividends to the older investors. If true, would be a Ponzi scheme. Here's why I don't believe it. And it's just for me. Like, I don't know that I don't have no affiliation with Rev. I never invested, just Ty's the homie. But Ty's like really the homie. Like, I don't think he would have asked me to invest if he thought I was going to get ripped off. And I know I'm biased, so you might think differently. And I'd understand that. Like, that's really my dog. I really don't think he would have asked me to invest if it was a Ponzi scheme. So the SEC is going to have to prove that's true, right? Again, everyone's innocent until proven guilty. That's one count, Ponzi scheming. But they're also accused of inappropriately commingling funds. They're accused of transferring money from one account to another account, like taking the RadioShack money to pay for the dress bar shit. And you're not necessarily supposed to do that. So, for example, what the SEC is accusing them of is, like, let's say you invested in some RadioShack, but they took your RadioShack money and paid Brandon Carter to be on the Modell's billboard. You know what I'm saying? That would have been a wise investment. You're not supposed to do that, according to the Security Exchange Commission. They're also accused of misappropriation of investor funds. They try to say that Ty and Alex diverted $16 million of investor funds for their own personal use with no apparent business purpose. The reason I don't think that's true is because Ty was rich, like rich. When Ty was on his social media run, if I told you how much money he was making, I don't think you would believe it. But he was making like some serious fucking money, bro. And I don't think he needed 16 mil that bad, from what I know, like straight up. So I think the SEC is going to have a difficult time proving that. Remember, I knew him from before the Here in My Garage ad came out, and he was already rich. He's also being accused of false claims of success and profitability. I can't speak to this because I don't know the inner workings of the businesses or everything, but basically they're saying that the shit was profitable when it wasn't. That's what the SEC is trying to say. I can't speak to that. Ty ain't never lied to me about nothing. That's all I can say. Everyone's innocent until proven guilty, right? And then another one is false claims of payment reliability, right? So the SEC is trying to say that the defendants assured investors orally, and in written material that Rev and other Rev retailer brands never missed a payment to a single investor. But SEC is saying that shit ain't true. They're gonna have to prove. They're gonna make their case. I don't know. I didn't invest because I couldn't at the time. I was tied up in my own litigation. I was in family court. And here's the one that I know they're gonna beat. They also being accused of misrepresenting Maya's experience, because they had her on a public website saying that she had 10 years experience managing multi-million-dollar companies, but they're saying, nah, man, this chick was just a motherfucking kindergarten teacher and a radio disc jockey or some shit. That's what SEC is trying to say. I know that's not cool, because when I would go kick it with Ty, Maya was always there, and Maya was like running shit, right? I've done business with Ty successfully. He paid me. I know that. And a lot of that shit had to go through Maya. Like, she was really running that shit. They should easily beat that. I remember thinking, because when I was running my businesses at the time, I was like, man, I need a motherfucker like Maya on my team, because she's on top of shit. She's super smart and she running shit, It's not what Brandon Carter believes is what you can prove in court, but they should be able to prove that shit. And Maya is also accused of aiding and abetting Lopez and Murr violations. Honestly, I don't know what went on with Rev. I hope a jury finds him innocent, because that's my dog. Now, investors, I guess, but potentially lost money, but that can happen, and if Ty didn't do nothing wrong, hey, that's just what it is, and the SEC is their job to prove if he did something wrong or not.